Welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, and we can finally crack a smile again. How about that, guys?
Woo. We did it.
We did it. We had super serious times. And even though we still very much respect the Dota, we don't have to be super serious all the time. But Imperial, well, they were very serious, and they did not let Escape smile a single bit. They just crushed them.
Yeah, I think that the draft from Escape was very hard to play into, especially if they got behind at all. It's a draft where you just have to play like your tempo. Like, you know, of course with the Dragon Knight and stuff too, you want to be like the ones making the pressure, the ones pushing the tower as well. Imperial was kind of just running at them over and over. Hestajo and Noya had a great performance. They died like twice in the bottom lane, but then right after that they made multiple plays, and it just looked like Escape's lineup, just looking at it, especially too, you look and you're like, they kind of lack damage at one point if they don't have a great start, and that's just what ended up kind of happening, and especially versus like an OD versus a Furin who builds mech, they just kind of hit all their timings on Imperial, and it was very hard for Escape to really do anything.
Yeah, I think that it is kind of what he says is like they need a good start to do well in that game, and they don't have the lanes for it. You know, they have mid lane, it's a Dragon Knight against OD. Lose. You lose.
Yeah.
Off lane, Clockwork against PA, and then there's some Lion with an Ogre.
Lose.
And the Fury can TP.
Off lane, Prophet against these two supports who none of them can jungle, and they can't really rotate mid or top lane to gank that easily because it's kind of hard for a Dragon Knight plus one of those supports to gank the OD. It's also hard for them to rotate top to help the clock because the PA is there and he's kind of elusive. So those two supports, when you mess with them with Treants, they don't get any levels. They don't have anywhere to go. So it's really hard for them to play that game, and on top of that, there's still the Treants against the Luna's ult. There's the OD, the damage against Dragon Knight in general, like throughout the game. So I just think that Escape kind of put themselves in a corner draft-wise, and we saw that come into play when the OD got a few items, and like we saw the Prophet up on the top lane. He was following around the Luna when she was wanting to ult those heroes, but she knew she couldn't because she was just wasted on Treants.
We have a clip for you guys. It was about 23 minutes in, and I guess, I mean, what you guys already say, during the laning stage, it was already quite... What the hell?
What?
What?
Oh,
there we go. I already saw that.
All right, well.
But during the laning stage, it was already quite clear that Imperial would come out on top. And, you know, one of the ways back into the game before we start playing is that if Synerin gets a good save off when someone gets gone upon, or if, for example, Clockwork can make something happen and can just initiate properly. Now let's see what happens when Ace, who luckily for him is invisible at the time, sees Synerin and see what happens. So that is Shadow Demon gone. Pause, please. So this is the time for Escape to go, right? Would you say? Should they have gone for this play?
Is that pre-Aegis? No, right? He has it. I mean, he has Aegis already,
right? He has Aegis, and he also has a BKB that he will use right now. So.
I think that they can't really even fight into this.
I think Escape is Escape right now.
Sad face.
Yes. With some tears too, you know. Couple. Yeah. Just one of those. I don't know what that looks like anymore, actually.
Yeah,
but
that would be Escape. Right
we can play this. What did you think about the Clockwork?
Oh, there's no Aegis, by the way. It's just the BKB.
Oh, it's just the BKB, which is, I mean, that's pretty devastating versus Escape's lineup. So this is before the...
You get him stuck in the cogs. That's nice, but there's just no damage to go through.
I mean, you're a PA, too. You've got max blink strike, too. You can blink out. And I just don't think that Escape can even fight at the deficit that they're in already. Like, as soon as the fight is taken, I think...
They're fleeing as well.
And we saw that PA was waiting to hit the Clockwork when Blade Man was activated. Just a little bit. Then he stands in the cogs while he's BKB'd, and they can't touch him because of the blur and the BKB. And we also saw Era going for the Lunar Blessing, only 1 point in Lunar Blessing.
Yes.
Which is, well, I wouldn't recommend it, at least.
No, he went for stats over Lunar Blessing at some point as well.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's against the OD because he wants more intelligence. He doesn't just die to the OD, and maybe more stats, maybe. But the thing is, I don't think it was that relevant this game. But I don't think it's something you should aim to do. I
think just their draft can work. I mean, the Shadow Demon and Rubik together, I think are like, I'm not a fan of like those two heroes together as a support duo. But versus Imperial's lineup, it's so hard for them. Like you mentioned, like how do you actually win any of these lanes? You just kind of, you're just like, okay, hopefully they make lots of mistakes and then we pull ahead and then Luna can free farm with glaives and stuff while Dragon Knight can maybe push some towers stuff. But Clockwork just feels kind of super out of place there then. He's just like this Clockwork who's just like left on his own, just like, okay, good luck.
I felt like the one play that they had to make was kind of to go for this aggressive tri-lane, because this tri-lane with 3 range heroes with Lunar Blessing, it's pretty strong against PA. Like before those early levels in Blur, this PA is not that strong. They don't have that much damage on an Ogre PA line. It's a decent lane, and Prophet can kind of TP in, but Clockwork can assist with rockets, and then Clockwork will have a good start at least in the game. And when Clockwork gets an early 6, at the same time DK gets 6, they can pop the form, you stun him, you rocket, you know, you hook this OD, and then all of a sudden you have 2 heroes mid, you have a form on this DK, you can start hitting this tower, and you have a good lane in the, like you have kind of sacked their safe lane, and at the same time you're having a good lane.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that that's what they had to do.
Yeah,
but they didn't do it, so
completely agree. Yeah, I think like their saving grace in that game was if Trixie had just an excellent game, but he was put in a position where you can't have an excellent game, so they just. Yeah, it was very, very hard for Escape to actually come back out of that laning phase.
Yeah, and once then the laning phase goes downhill, there's very little chance for them to catch up, as you pointed out. We can take a look at what you guys have voted so far for the MVP for this series. Now keep in mind that this MVP vote will run for the entire series, so also still for the next game, and it looks like Hasta Joe Rotten had a pretty good game in Nature's Prophet, and people love seeing it.
Yeah, that's a very, I would say, a pretty appropriate for him to be winning the MVP vote for sure in this.
Yeah.
Just because, yeah, it was a kind of a niche pick that we don't see too often. He's played it before, as they mentioned, not in DreamLeague, but he played it before DreamLeague at WESG, and he had a great showing with it. And yeah, I mean, it worked super well into their lineup, yeah. It was just a very good pick, and he played it really exceptionally.
He did play it very well. So in our next game, obviously Escape's going to change up